Hello and welcome to the Latah Valley Fiber Co podcast. My name is Tiffany. Welcome. It is February 15th and I'm currently in Eastern Washington where it is snowing. So I hope you are all doing well and busy crafting. Like I am. I have a couple finished objects to show you, as well as some works in progress and a little bit of acquisition. So let's get started. First off, you can find me online. I am on Instagram at Latah Valley Fiber Co. You can direct message me, lvfiberco@gmail.com. And if you want to check out my shop, latahvalleyfiberco.etsy.com. I had a shop update tail end of last month on my first year anniversary. So I have a lot of fun new colorways in there. Thank you to all of you who have shown my shop love since the last update. Enjoy your crafting. Okay, let's start off with what I'm wearing. This is the Magnolia Bloom pullover sweater? Not sure. Magnolia Bloom by Camilla. I'm sure if you type in that information, it'll come up with this sweater. I knit this in my own hand-dyed colorway, Heavenly Purple Heaven or something like that. I do. I have 3 skeins in my shop currently, so if you're interested. Now, I did hold it with Knit Picks Aloft in the colorway Mirth. So it did tame it down a little bit. The purple was very kind of a dark purple, and the Aloft definitely brought out more of the it almost is like jewel toned color. So I really like it. And I knit it with bracelet sleeves because when you're knitting, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm knitting, my DPNs will stick into my sleeves. And so if I have a bracelet length, it just jabs right here instead of sticking in and getting caught. So, okay, so that's what I'm wearing. Let's jump into finished objects. I have 2 pairs of socks. This is my progress, or my, what is this? This is my project bag that I crocheted this last summer. Let's see, I have 2, and they're socks. And this first one is, actually these are both for my husband. I made heavy changes to this because I was trying a new technique. Okay, so this one here, the first one I'm showing you, is just a 3x1 sock, which means I knit 3, I purled 1 as the pattern. I'm sure there's a pattern out there, but I just did that, so I'm not putting a pattern on here because of that. The yarn was by the Knotty Weaver, and it was in their Spruce colorway, and I had picked this up on our 10-year anniversary at Leavenworth last January. I cast on 24 stitches, increased to 68 stitches, and then did a heel flap and gusset, needle size US 2. Now, I had some issues because normally I knit for my husband 72 stitches from the toe on up to the cuff, and with the 68, that was too tight to go through his heel. So I had to pull back and add 4 more stitches before I started the cuff, and then I just did the stretchy bind off cuff might be Judy's stretchy bind off. And they actually fit a lot better. So this is what it looks like. Here's the heel, the gusset is here, and then there's a heel turn, and then you do this heel flap, which was a slip stitch heel flap. And what else can I say about this? I have 2 of them. Since I fixed that on this pair, I also had to fix it on my other pair. And going forward, I know that with the fingering weight, he tried these on. And that's how I knew that, I'm going to need to pull this out, because he got them on his toes and part of his foot, but not around his heel. So that's when I knew. So once I fixed and added the 4 stitches to 72 stitches and then bound off, they fit him fine. He loves the tighter fit, which is why I thought I would try the 68. So I will be doing that going forward. And I've made a note to add those extra 4 stitches when I'm doing the cuff. Okay, so is that all I wanted with this one? Yep. Okay, so I started these on 1/1/2024 and I finished them on 2/7/2024. So I did have a little bit of a problem. I'm doing these socks as an advent for my husband for next year so that he can open 1 sock a day. And I'm a little behind because I had those issues. So these next pair, I do have on my works in progress his February sock, but I actually need to cast on another pair, and I haven't done that yet either. Okay, so this gray pair, these are the Rye by Tin Can Knits. I've knit them before, actually a couple times. I did modify it. It's cuffed down in the pattern, but I did toe up. The yarn I used was Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in the Gris colorway. And I got these for Mother's Day 2023 from my husband. Same thing, I cast on 24 stitches, increased to 68 stitches, and then did a heel flap and gusset, and same needle size, US 2. So, yeah, the Rye has this fun pattern right here, which is just a purl. I think you knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and on and on. And then here's the heel flap, or no, here's the heel flap. This is the gusset and the heel turn. And then same thing, I had done the 68 stitches all the way to the cuff and then bound off, and he couldn't, again, get them over his heel. So I pulled them all out, added the 4 stitches, then knit the cuff again, and did the Judy's Magic cast off, which helps it to be flexible. So I have 2, and so these are his January socks. So he should be able to, yeah, I'm happy to have those done. Even though they were a little challenging, I'm hoping if I don't have those issues with going forward, that they'll go faster. Although it's the 15th and I don't even have a full sock done for January. So, anyway, let's talk about works in progress. So let's just continue on with the socks. I have cast on, I think on those, the Rye socks, I started them the same day, January 1st, yes, and I finished them 2/6. So I actually finished them the day before, because I had to adjust those issues and pull out the cuff and add stitches and reknit the cuff. Okay. This next pair of socks, let's see. Okay, here we go. Oh, these are heart socks, and it's not a pattern. I'm just doing a vanilla sock and adding a pearl heart. Okay, so I started these 2/8. I got the heart grid from Pinterest. I just typed in, can't remember exactly what I typed in, but it's a heart grid. Maybe I'll post a picture here of what I used exactly. Okay, the yarn I'm using is Cascade Yarns Heritage in the colorway number. It's 5789 lot number 1, and it's pink. Here you go. Woo! Really bright pink. I cast on the same 24 stitches. I increased to 68 stitches and then began knitting in the round. I'm using US needle size 2. This is fingering weight yarn, and this is what I have so far. There's a couple different things. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I am doing new techniques, and I'll show you what I have here. So it was either a blog or a YouTube knitter that I follow suggested this, or this is what she does with her socks, is the areas that wear out on her socks, she adds a slip stitch detail. So my husband wears out on by the toe area, or just past the toe area, and then on his actual heel he will wear out. So with this, I'm trying that slip stitch detail right here, and then I've already done the heel, so it's right there. I don't know that that's gonna fit onto it. Well, I could just try it, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't lose any stitches. Maybe. Nope. Oh, I am losing a couple stitches here. Up. Can I do it? Maybe. Okay. Okay, I think I did it without losing a single stitch. And I might just have to take a picture of this because it's kind of... Okay. So I did go back to my regular heel, which is the Shadow Wrap Short Row. I can work that up super fast. The heel flap and gusset takes me forever. So I just omitted that this time. I went back to the heel flap, or the Shadow Wrap Short Row. And my husband said he doesn't mind those anyway, so why not just do them? And then here's that detailing down here you can kind of see, and then on the bottom of the foot. I don't know that I love it on the bottom of the heel, because it's a little fiddly and it pulls in the heel. So I'm really hoping it fits him. Okay. You can see that I just knit and then added these, here's the big heart detail on, and I added a couple little hearts. Now, I have turned the heel and I'm starting on the leg. I will add in a couple more of the motifs and then bind off, or do a cuff and bind off. Okay. So, normally I cast on, if I'm doing DPNs, I'll cast on both toes and then knit a little bit on the foot on both, do the heel on both, do the leg on both, do the cuff on both, bind off on both. Well, I haven't even started the second one. So I am doing it a little differently. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. I think I just wanted to get a sock done. So, I do have some cons to this yarn. It is superwash merino, and then it has the nylon. It is very, it doesn't feel very, like, it feels okay to touch. It feels, the fabric is really not pleasant. It feels okay, but it's very see-through, which means I probably should have gone down a needle size, but I'm already doing a US 2, which is pretty low. So I don't know. None of my other socks do this where they're so gappy. This is fingering weight yarn, so I don't know. I don't love it. Let me just put it that way. I've worked with better yarn out there. So, and again, that's the Cascade Heritage. Cascade Yarn Heritage. So hopefully in 2 weeks I'll have both pair done, and then I can start on my second pair that I need to get done in January. Okay, let's move on to the other things I'm working on. Okay, let's talk about my temperature blanket. I'm holding it in this knitting bag that I sewed myself a couple of years ago, and it won't stay in here long because it's already, I had to take out some of the, as my blanket has grown, I've had to take out some of the cakes of yarn. Okay. Oh. I think I'm done with you for the moment. Okay, let me get it on the right side here, which is this. It is super fun. I love it a lot. It's so warm on my lap. Now, if you watched my vlog 2 weeks ago, I will have talked about my issues with the blanket. Now, since then, I ordered more yarn, which will be in acquisitions, as well as I caught up. I had gotten a little bit behind, like 7 days. So I caught up, and I just really have enjoyed it. It's super warm on my lap, and it's fun to knit on. The yarn is just beautiful. I highly recommend it. Okay, so let's go to, let's take out these things here. I'll talk a little bit about, so I started it on January 17th. And then the pattern that I'm using is the temperature blanket pattern, and it's by Handy Little Me. The yarn I'm using is Woodland Tweed by Knit Picks in their worsted Aran weight yarn. And I bought it originally in a pack of 13, and then discovered not long into my blanket that I needed more color with the colors that I've already had. So I am using needles US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. I cast on 240 stitches, and this was my original breakdown of the temperatures. I have since had to adjust, and now I'm doing this breakdown. And I had to add 2 more colors, and I had to move some of my colors around because I discovered that 3 of my colors, 2 in the really low temperatures and 1 in the high 100 temperatures, I wasn't even going to touch those, and I wanted to use them. So I had to adjust to do this. Now, originally I was doing 10 temperature increments. So the first 3 are 10 temperatures, 10 degree temperatures difference. The rest are all 5 degree temperatures difference. I am marking them off as I go. So I am doing 2023, or no, I'm not doing 2023. I'm doing 2013 temperature, but I'm doing the day that it currently is. So like here you can see 215, it was 52 degrees in 2013, and I haven't done that one yet. That is today. So I mark them off as I do them. I do 1 row a day typically, unless I'm stuck on something else. I'll end up doing 2. I'll have to catch up and do 2 rows. What else with this? That's it, I think. So I am loving this. It's a very expensive blanket, but I've come to terms with it's going to be worth it. It is beautiful. It's warm, it's soft, it's comfortable, it's 100% wool, you know, so there's a lot going for this blanket that I like. So let's see, where is my beginning around? Probably over here. Yep, so this is where I left you 2 weeks ago. So this right here is basically 2 weeks of knitting. So let's move it up to where I'm at now, which will be right here. This was the 14th, this brown color, which was yesterday. And there we go. Okay. So in 2 weeks, I should have, what was that, like 4 inches maybe? 4.5 inches? So I should have another 4.5 inches on the blanket. So, and we're moving into warmer temperatures, so a lot of different colors will be coming in, making their first appearance. Like this gray, this is the first time I've used this gray color. So I really like it. And I didn't initially, there was a lot of problems with it, but I'm really enjoying it now. And it's big enough, it's sitting on my lap, and it warms my lap as I'm knitting on it. And it's just, I don't know. Oh no, this is not I said that wrong. This is not 100% wool. This is wool and alpaca, and then the tweed, which is who knows what. I think they call it viscose, which is a combination of different things, synthetic, I think. But the alpaca definitely makes it super soft. So I apologize, I did say that wrong. It's not 100% wool. Wool, alpaca, and viscose, because it's tweedy. So, okay, I think that's all I wanted to say about the temperature blanket. And again, that's the temperature blanket for 2013, which was a great year for me. I got married. My husband and I adopted our son, and it was kind of the year of, I did a lot of different things that year. So, okay, that's it for the temperature blanket. Let's talk about my Agnes sweater by Camilla. Okay, so if you watched the last episode, you will have been around for the frogging of the Agnes sweater, or the Agnes pullover. by Camilla Vad. I had some issues with it. The yarn I was using is supposed to be sport weight, and a portion of it, this one here, I had spun this myself, so it's a little thick and thin. It's mostly sport weight, but there's a little bit of chunkiness to it. I had bought this black yarn, Malabrigo Arroyo, in the black colorway, and it really needed to be doubled, 2 strands to meet the same size as my hand spun yarn. So I feel like this is mostly fingering weight, but whatever. They're selling it as sport weight. Okay, so I had to pull it out. That was the last vlog. I've since recast on. I doubled the black to match the green, and I updated my needle size because the fabric initially I used 3.5 millimeter initially, and the fabric was so dense. So what the pattern has you do is the collar 3.5, and then once you have finished your collar, you're to go to 4 millimeters. So I did that, but the fabric it was creating, I think I knit down 4 inches. It was really dense, the fabric. So I knew with that I would need to pull it out. So I did that last episode, and I readjusted some things. So I recast on 2/11, 2024, and I increased the needle size to US 6, 4 millimeter for this part. So basically I went up a needle size, and it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It looks great. I'll show you here in a second. I also, did I mention this? I doubled the yarn, okay, and I cast on for the black, and then I cast on a size large, which I had done also with the other one, but with the needle size, I'm hoping the needle adjustment. I love the fabric. You will note, I do need to get, I'm using this on circular needles, but I need to extend my cord. So I apologize, it's a little bunched on here. You will see immediately, actually, you won't see. So initially, I had the collar and then this first green motif right here. Okay, so I cast on the collar, I did the green motif, and then I realized I don't have enough green to do, there's this motif and then this little diamond thingy and then this one, and then I have started the next and last motif. I wasn't confident that I would have enough of this to do all of the motifs, all 4 of them. So this is what happens when you don't gauge swatch, I guess. Plus, I don't know how much yardage this is because it's hand spun. But anyway, this is what I have so far. I did add in this orange, which I love. Orange is my favorite color. And so I did add that in for the middle motif, and then I'm going to do green, and then I'll begin the rest of the body, and the arms are going to be a lighter gray. Okay, so what do I need to talk about with this? The green is a wool and tweed that I hand spun did I do that in November? In preparation, oh maybe, no, I did it in December during Vlogmas in preparation for casting this on. This was my Christmas, New Year's Eve cast on. That's what this was. And then I ended up having to pull it out and recast it on the 11th. So it's the 15th. I've made pretty good progress, which is probably why, that's probably why my husband's socks are not further along, because this is super fun. I like this a lot. The color work is just, it's super engaging, and I do a row where I do continental and I throw. So I have one color in each hand, and I do it that way. So it's very engaging, very you know, you finish a row and you're like, oh, okay, I move it, and I'm like, so the pattern has a chart that you follow, and so I just move my marker up, and it's just very engaging for me. So, yeah, I'd rather do this than the socks, probably, is why they're not further along. Oh boy. Well, yeah. So this orange is actually, it's fingering weight yarn, leftover, that I just went through my stash. I'm like, okay, I need, you know, enough to do this. I have no idea how much that is, but I'm going to see what I can find. I have a lot of fingering weight because I do a lot of socks. So I found 2 and just doubled them up. And then I ran out of the one, and so then I doubled up this one. You can see by the picture here, and I may post a picture or video that shows this a little bit better. It has the color that I paired this with had a lot of this color in it, but then it was sock yarn, so it had socks that I knit for my husband. It had a lot of variation to it. It's got this kind of mauve-y purple and a light cream. Has a green and a blue, and it has a green, a blue, and a gray that kind of intermixed through there, and so it actually adds a lot of character. I'm really glad that I did it that way. Kind of winging it, flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. So, yeah. I am going to show you one thing that I struggled with this pattern, and it regarded an increase. So her increases, she had 2 different ones, and she made a note on the chart which one she wanted to use in a certain spot. And for the increase here along this black and then the second one, you can obviously see there's more color here, or more yarn, more stitches. There, she had you slip the stitch, and then on the left side of that stitch, go down and pull up that stitch and then knit it through the back loop. Well, what that did was create a hole. And as I went along, I thought, I don't know that it's supposed to do that, you know? So I tried a couple different things. I did a knit front back, and that worked a lot better. It didn't create the hole, but it created a purl bump on the stitch, and I didn't like that either. So I went back to the other way, and I'm going to put a video in here showing you exactly what's going on because it's a little hard to show it here. So basically along that increase, there's a hole all the way across. And I don't think that that is in the pattern. At least from what I can see, there's not supposed to be a hole there. I am hoping that maybe with blocking, the yarn will swell and kind of fill that in. I'm hoping, because it looks really bad. So I may have to go in and duplicate stitch and kind of pull it together, which I could do. I have some of the yarn left. I could do that. But I feel like the increase could have been done a little differently there. That would help keep that closed and not holy. I mean, you can see my finger through it. So, that's my only beef, is the increase that she wanted you to do created a hole. Okay, other than that, I love the pattern. I love knitting on it. It's so exciting and different and fun. Okay, the last thing I have for you today is acquisitions. And it goes along with my temperature blanket. I had to order more yarn. So what I did I tell you this last time? Maybe, can't quite remember. I ended up going, because I'm doing a previous year and not this year, which most temperature blankets are the current year. But they do recommend doing a year that was important to you. And so 2013, I got married and we adopted Hudson. So that was an important year. My husband is doing this year, 2023. Not 2023. 2024! Goodness. So, and he's a little bit behind because he also does leather working and has a full-time job. So he's about a month behind. Among other things. You know, he's busier by far. But I was able to plan out, once I started running out of yarn, a specific colorway, I realized I'm going to need to order more, and I was buying it from Knit Picks, so I didn't want to buy a skein and have shipping, and then, oh, I'm running out, buy a skein and have shipping. So, because I was doing a previous year, I mapped it all out. So, here's February, March, April, May, and June, and all the way. I went all the way through the year. And the app I used was Time and Date, and I am doing the high for the day. So, mapping it all out, I was able to figure out exactly what colors I would need more of. And then I needed 2 additional colors because of the way I broke this down into 5-degree increments. I needed 2 more colors. So when I made the order to Knit Picks, I also picked out two different colors. Now, I was using the Woodland Tweed. Well, I had bought all of their colors. They didn't have any additional colors in the Woodland Tweed, so I had to get a different comparable brand, I guess. It's from Knit Picks. It's their City Tweed. It's the same weight. It's slightly different yardage. It's a little less, by about 15 yards. And it's made out of the same stuff, just different percentages. So these are the 2 colorways that I added to my blanket. Jacquard, and then this is lemon curd. Okay, so this is 55% merino wool and 25% alpaca and 20% tweed. And the Woodland tweed is slightly different. It's less alpaca, I think it's 15 or 10, and then 10 Donegal. So it's mostly wool. Okay, this feels a little more luscious, but it's about the same. So that's what I did. When I ordered, I ended up getting 13 more skeins of yarn, including these as well. So I should be good on my blanket. So those were part of my acquisition. And of course, if you hit a certain point, a dollar amount, then Knit Picks will ship for free. So that's what I did. I bought a big. So originally I bought 13 skeins, and then I did a second order of 13 skeins. And that's what I got with this. Okay. These are additional. I think I got 2 skeins of one and 3 skeins of another of these. And then 2 to 3 skeins of some other, I don't recall which ones they are, but yeah, so I'm good to go for the whole year. So that's it for my Knit Picks order. I did also go to my local yarn shop, Paradise Fiber, and I bought yarn dye in the Country Classic in different, I think I bought 4 more colorways because I have some fleece that I would like to dye. So I also bought, and I apologize for the crinkling, I am not going to take this out of the bag, but I bought this white Gotland. They call it top, but it's all braided up and it'll be roving. This is a pound. So this I will divide into 4 ounces and then dye it with those colors. So I bought the white Gotland, and then I was interested, sometimes Paradise has the white and gray Gotland blended together, not blended together, roped together, I think. But when I went, they didn't have that option. They just had the white, and then they had the gray. Now, I am interested in dyeing the gray Gotland. I also got a pound of that. I'm interested in dyeing the gray Gotland because gray takes color a bit differently, so I've read. So I wanted to try that out. So I picked up 2 pounds of the Gotland. I will probably experiment a little bit with it. I will probably do 4 ounces where the gray and the white are kind of roped together, braided together, and then dye it and see how the gray takes the dye. And then I'm also just going to dye the gray and the white just on its own as well. So that'll be coming to the shop at some point. This next week is kind of busy. We had a death in the family last week. My sweet aunt went to be with the Lord after a very short bout with a disease that was pretty fast, was really rapid actually. She was diagnosed and then passed in 5 weeks. So that is this next week. We're going to go down for her service and say goodbye. Not that I haven't already said goodbye, but it feels more permanent, more formal to say goodbye at a service. So that is what we're doing next week. she lived in southern Idaho, so we are going to be traveling by car, and the roads seem to be okay at this point, although we're getting snow right now, so, but it's supposed to warm up Saturday, I think. Yeah, so probably after that I will have 2 weeks, I think, where it's a little more just our normal schedule, and then we have family coming into town from Virginia and Spain, so it'll get busier again for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. So I'm hoping to dye all of this before that, and put it in the shop. So I'll check back with you in a couple weeks when I do my next vlog, and hopefully I'll have some updated colors to show you. I am going to do just the fleece. I do have some Surrey that I didn't dye with my last shop update because I just ran out of time, and so I might actually also do that. We'll see. But yeah, so that's all I have for you this week. I hope you all are doing well and enjoying your making, whatever you're getting your hands into. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Happy knitting!